Accusations of steroid use have been swirling around Canelo Alvarez as his upcoming fight with Terence Crawford draws near, and some voices in boxing are making it clear they believe the suspicions have merit. David Benavidez, one of Canelo's most vocal critics, didn't mince words, pointing to the fact that several fighters from Canelo's camp have tested positive for banned substances in the past. In Benavidez's view, if so many people around Canelo are dirty, it's hard to believe he's completely clean himself. He specifically recalled Canelo's positive test for clenbuterol, a drug he says tainted Canelo's reputation. Benavidez questions why Canelo refuses to face him if he's so confident, claiming that Canelo's avoidance suggests doubt. To him, beating Canelo would be worth far more than any payday. It's about legacy, not money, and that's where he says their values differ. Eddie Reynoso's gym, where Canelo trains, has been at the center of this controversy. Critics have accused Reynoso of either directly supplying fighters with performance-enhancing drugs or at least creating an environment where it's accepted. The list of fighters tied to him who have tested positive is notable: Canelo himself for clenbuterol, Oscar Valdez for a banned substance while still fighting under Reynoso, and Luis Nery, although his positive test reportedly came before joining Reynoso's team. Ryan Garcia also failed a test after leaving Reynoso for another trainer, but his time there adds to the perception of a camp with a troubled reputation. Skepticism about Canelo's rapid muscle gain has grown, with many pointing to the science of aging and muscle development. Analysts note that for most men, significant muscle growth after the age of 30 is extremely difficult without assistance. Yet Canelo, in his early 30s, appears much bigger and more muscular than in the past, even as he continues moving up in weight. Rolly Romero has commented that a natural body simply doesn't transform like that at this stage of a career. Observers like Joe Rogan have joined in, pointing out that the laws of physiology make such growth nearly impossible without outside help. Rogan isn't just speculating. He bases his argument on decades of studying elite athletes and says the speed and scale of Canelo's transformation defy natural limits. While some fans dismiss these suspicions as part of the fight's hype, others take them seriously, remembering that Canelo has already served a suspension for clenbuterol, which he attributed to contaminated meat. Critics believe his resources give him access to cutting-edge substances that might not even be detectable yet. Floyd Mayweather has also weighed in, arguing that Canelo benefits from a double standard in boxing where certain star fighters are shielded from scrutiny because of their marketability. Mayweather warns that PED use isn't just cheating, it puts fighters' health at risk and undermines the sport's integrity. The chatter isn't one-sided. Crawford has also faced speculation, with some questioning his recent muscle gain and connection to Victor Conte's snack program. As the September fight nears, both fighters have agreed to random VADA testing, starting in June and running up to fight night. While such testing is standard for big bouts, the public nature of these announcements shows how much the PED narrative has dominated pre-fight talk. Both camps seem intent on proving they're clean, though the constant allegations keep the issue alive. Canelo's evolution in the ring is part of what fuels suspicion. Early in his career, he was smaller, relied more on speed, and fought like a natural welterweight. Now he's physically overpowering much larger opponents, which some find hard to credit solely to training. Supporters say it's the result of years of elite preparation and discipline. Detractors think otherwise, citing his knockout power against fighters who outweigh him on fight night. As for Crawford, his rise through the weight classes has been steady, and his success comes from skill more than size. However, the jump to 168 to face Canelo is significant. Some, like Nico Ollie Walsh, believe Crawford has approached the challenge intelligently by sparring with larger, stronger fighters to prepare for the kind of pressure Canelo brings. Walsh praises Crawford's calmness and adaptability, qualities he sees as essential for beating someone as physically imposing as Canelo. Respected boxing journalist Dan Rafael frames Crawford's decision to take this fight as a pursuit of history rather than money. In Rafael's view, Crawford is chasing a legacy-defining win, not just a paycheck. But he also warns that beating Canelo will require near perfection, given the Mexican star's granite chin and ability to take punches from naturally bigger men. Rafael recalls Canelo almost getting stopped early in his U.S. career, but notes that since then, no one has visibly hurt him. This raises the question, If Crawford couldn't knock out a solid but less heralded opponent like Israel Madrimov at 154, how will he damage Canelo at 168? Some analysts believe Crawford's best chance is to outbox Canelo, using his superior footwork and ring IQ to control the pace. Canelo has had trouble with highly mobile fighters in the past, and Crawford's ability to switch stances and adapt could frustrate him. The key will be avoiding exchanges where Canelo's power can turn the fight. Crawford is known for systematically breaking opponents down, not overwhelming them with force, and that approach might help him against a bigger puncher. There's also debate over the weight factor. While Canelo has been accused of being a weight bully, using his size to dominate, Crawford has been quietly fighting much bigger in the ring than his weigh-in numbers suggest. His fight night weight for a 154-pound bout was reportedly around 170 pounds, and earlier this year, he posted a training weight of 186 pounds on social media. This surprised many, as it suggests Crawford naturally walks around close to light heavyweight size, making the leap to super middleweight less drastic than it appears. Marcus Brown, who has trained with Crawford, dismisses any notion that size will intimidate him. He says Crawford has long sparred with larger men, including heavyweights, and never seems rattled under pressure. Brown also believes that certain fights have shown ways to disrupt Canelo's rhythm and limit his accuracy, tactics Crawford has the skill to exploit. Public opinion is sharply divided. Some back Canelo for his size, power, and experience at higher weights. Others see Crawford's versatility and intelligence as the deciding factors. While Canelo's supporters argue that Crawford hasn't faced anyone with comparable strength, Crawford's fans insist that his ability to adapt to different opponents makes him a nightmare matchup for anyone. Beyond the accusations, the fight has become a lightning rod for boxing's larger ped problem. Fans and analysts alike know that testing, no matter how strict, isn't foolproof, and both fighters' histories, whether proven or just rumored, keep suspicion alive. This backdrop adds tension to every weigh-in, every training photo, and every physical change leading up to fight night. Still, despite all the controversy, both men are regarded as elite champions chasing greatness. For Canelo, a win over Crawford would further cement his legacy and quiet, at least temporarily, the talk about performance enhancers. For Crawford, it's a chance to shock the world, defy the size gap, and join the short list of fighters who took on and beat one of the sport's biggest stars in his prime. Whether fans believe the accusations or see them as pre-fight mind games, they've undeniably shaped the narrative. As September approaches, every statement from either camp, every training clip, and every hint about physical condition will be dissected. Both Canelo and Crawford have insisted they'll be ready, clean, and focused when the bell rings. But until then, the whispers about steroids and the debates about size, skill, and legacy will only get louder. For now, the fight remains a blend of high stakes and high suspicion, two of boxing's best, under the microscope, in a matchup that could define both their careers. With legacies, pride, and perhaps the truth about their physical transformations on the line, the countdown to the first bell feels as much about proving themselves outside the ring as it does about winning inside it.